Well, hello and welcome back. Thank you for coming back. Today, well, we're in the St George Harbour and we're going to wiggle and waggle and we're off to Coral Bay because we're going for lunch. And we're going for lunch with double trouble. That means Mr Jeremy the Younger and Mr Simon the Older. Watching for Sylvia LaBouffe.
Oh, adjusting my hair. Hello everybody. How nice to see you again and again.
And again. And the balcony is fully covered this time. Yes, hopefully. Right, here we go. We're off to Coral Bay and we're coming from the St George Harbour area. So this is the far end of the Peyia district. A lot of people living out here. A lot of people come out and rent villas and they have great holidays. Obviously, if you go any further than this, you're going to go into the Acamas. And the only reason to go in there is to be a bit of a kamikaze or something. Because Sylvia LaBouffe is looking absolutely spectacularly beautiful. She just adjusted her hair again. Kamikaze.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, great views out there. And we're going to wiggle and waggle our way back up now onto the main road. And then that road's going to take us through the Sea Cave area, the Peyia area, Midtown Peyia as we call it. And then we're going to end up in the Coral Bay area. And we're going to go down to the Coral Bay Beach Hotel and Resort, and hopefully we're going to find a parking spot. We're going to park up and we're going to storm that hotel and hunt for double trouble. That's Jeremy and Simon Payne. Have you enjoyed your trip down to the little harbour area?
Yes, very
Spectacular
nice.
views.
Spectacular views.
And did you enjoy your little walking on the rocks?
To die for, yes.
We almost did.
Of course,
as usual.
I almost did.
Yes. Every time we go somewhere, we like to give it that little bit of an adrenaline rush, shall we say. Because if you understand by now, if you haven't hit the like, you should. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. Because nobody else is going to show you Paphos in quite the way that we do. No one else is quite as stupid as us. And no one else is as adventurous as us. So here we go. We're leaving the St George area, should we say. This is the area now to the left hand side where an awful lot of expatriates live, and then again over to the right hand side you've got a vast array of older videos and ultra modern videos, and you've also got the St George Caps Resort and Hotel over there as well. So a lot of expats live out here, and of course a lot of villas out here are to rent. But as I said in the previous video, if you are going to come for a holiday to the Peyia area, St George area, if you have family live here, that's fine. But if you've never been here before, make sure that you organise a hire car, because the beach is not just down the road, it's not just round the corner. The supermarket is not just down the road, it's not just down round the corner. You're going to need a car. So whether you're going to hire one or whether you're going to buy one, you're going to need a car. Otherwise, you're going to have a long walk. But if you do rent a car and you rent a villa out in the St George area, one thing's for sure, you're going to have a great holiday. Receive it?
Yeah, and it's true. These areas are a little bit
off the beaten track.
Spacey, should I say, if you understand me. By the word spacey, I mean that not all the plots are occupied, so you need a little bit of walking or driving.
Easier to get a car, I think, to be honest. That's the red line through St George. So we've left St George, we're now back into Peyia, and I think you may find that this is the Sea Caves area, although some people will still call it St George. I mean, I lived in a villa just in the banana groves to the left hand side here when I first arrived, and I was there for a year, and they called it St George. So who knows where we actually are. What's for sure is that we're on the island of love. We're in the Paphos district, and there's a sign there that just said Paphos Zoo. So Miss Andrea, Mr Mart, and other people have asked where Paphos Zoo is. Well, there's a brown sign over there that says Paphos Zoo is 1 kilometre to the left. So that means it's around about 20-ish kilometres from downtown Peyia Paphos. So if you're in the Peyia Paphos Harbour area, promenade area, or a hotel or apartment complex, somewhere around there, it's a pretty long walk indeed. But luckily for you, they do have an all-included bus, so it picks you up somewhere in the harbour area and takes you out to the Paphos Zoo. And guess what? When you're finished in the Paphos Zoo, it even takes you back. Now there's another attraction coming up here on the right hand side very very shortly. If you like to ride a horse, well, you've got St George's Ranch, which I think we've just passed, but never mind, it was just over there on the right hand side. And if you want to ride a horse or go and watch people ride horses, that's the place for you to go. Now we've got a road up on the right hand side which takes us up to the top of Peyia, or Cathicus, and that's the road we came down before with the truly spectacular views. We're going to keep going straight, receiver the booth, because we're going to Coral Bay. Am I right?
Yes.
Are you looking forward to your lunch?
Ranch, you said in English.
Ranch.
You know that in Spanish, rancho, it means the plot, big plot.
Is that what it means?
Rancho.
There we go. There we are. These words have different meanings in different languages.
Yes.
Luckily, it wasn't a swear word,
No.
because we're a family channel, shall we say.
Seen this
Have you
black
seen the
clouds?
blackness coming in the clouds? Yeah, that's right. I put the camera back for people to see it. There's a whole load of black clouds, and they are leading us back to Paphos. But luckily, we're going to stop in Coral Bay, because we're going for lunch. That's provided we can find Double Trouble, that is. There's a restaurant there that's pretty busy. Quite a few cars outside there. They've all stopped for their lunch. We've got the last kiosk there, which it is the last kiosk, I suppose, if you're going out towards St George, but it's the first kiosk if you're coming back towards Coral Bay, which we are. And then down here you've got the Eco Petrol Station. It's also got a mini supermarket with it, and it's also got a restaurant tacked on. Do quite a good breakfast. I often come here when I'm in Peyia, get a car wash and have a breakfast to, well, waste the time, shall we say, while I wait for the phone to ring.
What an uncarefully man.
Well, he's in a big rush. He's going for his lunch. If you wouldn't know how much a car wash is in downtown Paphos, it ranges between 8 and 10 euros. The most common price is 10 euros. And to be honest, they do quite a good job, in and out. And luckily for me, I always go to places where they've got a little restaurant or a cafe, because most car washes take around about 20 to 30 minutes. So that's an awful lot of time to twiddle your thumbs, as I always say. So it's best to find one with a cafe. Then you can have a sandwich or a breakfast or a coffee or something. Receive it a bit.
In a Cloric area, I remember in the beginning, somewhere in the benzene station, it used to be 5 euros. But
That was a long time ago.
Those days gone.
Those days are gone, I'm afraid. Receive it a bit. They're well gone. That was when it was cheap in Cyprus, around about 15 years ago. When I first got here, some things were ridiculously expensive and some things were quite reasonable. Now, the ridiculously expensive has become quite reasonable, and the things that were cheap, well, guess what? They've become quite expensive. But that's called progress and joining the euro. And the cloud formation, it is black. Somewhere it definitely is raining. Again, we're back on that road where I warn you, if you have borrowed a car, stolen a car, or have access to a car, the Gumbarus in blue like to park up here, which is Gem Auto Garage. They park up there and try and get you, and then just a bit further on there is a linen place there, and again they're parked there often on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon. And then further yonder there's a big quad bike business with a lay-by, and again they are pulled in there waiting for you to come along, because this is a 65 speed limit. Very, very tempting to do 80 or even more, but it's actually 65 because it's called a built-up area, and there are various exits and junctions along the way. Now, we are rapidly approaching the Coral Bay area. So that's the area I was talking about there. That's a quad bike extraordinaire place in the summer season. There's a petrol station. All of the left turnings, by the way, would take you up into Midtown Peyia, but we're going to stay on the main road here, and it's going to bring us to the Philippos supermarket, and then it's going to bring us to the Coral Bay roundabout. At the Coral Bay roundabout, well, we ain't going to go straight for Paphos, we ain't going to go left for Peyia, we are going to go right and into Coral Bay. And receiving a booth, it's going to drive us down to the Coral Beach Hotel and Resort.
No.
Yes.
Mr. Paul, I'm starving.
That's where we're going to find the boys, because that's where they're staying.
Are they starving as well?
Well, hopefully. Well, whether they are or not, they're taking us for lunch, that's for sure. This is how it works. Straight over this roundabout, receive the booth, and this is the, well, Philippos supermarket, shall we say. And on the front here, there's like a little takeaway tacked on, nothing to do with them. But to the rear of that is their DIY centre. And there's little parade of shops here. There's an underwear shop. There's a cafe and a property developer. I'll take you in there later. Up and down underwear. Yeah, I'll take you in there later. That's the Philippos huge supermarket. And And then he's even got a diner on the end. There, that's Phil's diner. Food's pretty good in there, by the way. Let's keep going, Cressidi. And then the next little stop we're going to come to is the Coral Bay roundabout. Like I say, if you go straight at that roundabout, in about 15 kilometres you're going to get to Paphos. If you go just over the roundabout, then take a left, you're going to go up into uptown Peyia. But we are going to take a right and join the Coral Bay strip. So we're going to go right, Cressidi. The road service, yeah, Sherlock Holmes. Even a Mercedes E-Class cannot smooth out the unsmoothness of the roads. Here we go, officially entering Coral Bay. Starts off with the Bank of Cyprus because you're going to need some money, because it's got plenty of shops, gift shops, restaurants, up and down underwear shops, clothes shops, all that kind of thing. So that's why you need the money. And as you can see, most of it is open, but there's not much life going on, that's for sure, because we're deep into the winter season now. So pull over here, Cressidi LaBouffe, and we'll get a very, very good goodbye, and then we're going to go and hunt down Jeremy and Simon Payne because it's time for lunch.
Jeremy, Simon, I'm totally starving. You know what? I'm fancy of nice spare ribs.
And just by coincidence, we happen to have found a restaurant. I can't say it. How do you say it, Cressidi LaBouffe? Siriani. We did come and eat there with
Nigel and
so sweet Caroline and Mr. Nigel Big Guns, and the food was very good. And there's a sign outside that when these people move, you'll be able to see it. It says suckling pig, spare ribs. What else does it say?
Suckling pig.
Yeah, suckling
means
pig.
The pigs is going around on bicycle.
Suckling. And they've cooked it, whatever it means, I don't know. Spare ribs, T-bone steak, fresh sea bass, and octopus grilled. So all that's left for me to say is thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the like, click subscribe. Please come back for a little bit more of our
I would like
madness.
to tell you many thanks as well. Thank you again and again. We loving you to bits, and please don't forget to come and see another of our madnesses. Yes, Mr. Richie.
Right, Jeremy Payne, Simon Payne, where are you?